Okay, we're back, Math 90. This is part 2 of section 4.2, and we're going to talk about x and y intercepts. So, x and y intercepts are two special points. Let me write that on there. Okay, so why they're special is because the x-intercept is where the graph or the line, as we just saw when I graphed those 2 points, what came out to be a line. So we're looking for where that line or that graph crosses or hits the x-axis. That's the x-intercept. So that's a special point on the graph. The y-intercept is also a special point because that's where the line or the graph crosses or hits the y-axis. So if we're looking at a graph, we can kind of tell, oh, this is the x-intercept because here's the point where it's crossing the x-axis. We can kind of tell the y-intercept because that's where the point on the graph is hitting the y-axis. Let me show you a picture of what I mean. Okay, and I kind of curved off. This should be straighter here. I kind of curved off there a little bit. So these are some 4 points on a graph, and I just connected them. And if we're looking at this graph, could we pick out the y-intercept? And we want the point where the line or the graph hits the x-axis. So let me label these. This is, remember, your x-axis, and this is your y-axis up here. This up and down is your y-axis, and this is your x. So where is it hitting the x-axis at? What point? So if I was looking at it, I would say, ooh, right here is my x-intercept. Because here's where the graph or the line is hitting the x-axis. And what point is that? That is the point 1, 0. So 1, 0 is the x-intercept. So I will show you how to get these from an equation. It's very easy. I just want to show you like what the picture looks like and how you can pick them out from a picture. So can we, from the graph, find the y-intercept? So this is the y-axis. Where is the graph hitting the y-axis at? And if I'm looking at it, I'm looking here, and so this to me is the y-intercept. What point is that? So I'm not going across, I'm just going down. So the y-intercept is 0, -4. So the x-intercept is 1, 0, and the y-intercept is 0, -4 for this graph. How's that? Sorry about the bad turn that took there. So what happens if we're given an equation and we want to find the x and y intercepts. So here's an example. It'll say something like this: find the x and y intercepts for the equation negative 5x plus 7y equals negative 35. Okay, so I want to find the x and y intercepts for negative 5x plus 7y equals negative 35. So the easiest way I know to do this is to make a table and just going back to the picture, what did we notice about the y-intercept? If the first piece, or the x-coordinate, was 0, right? So I'm going to put a 0 in here, and we're going to find the y-intercept by finding y. And what did we notice for the x-intercept about the y-coordinate? It was 0. So for the x-intercept, I'm going to put y as 0. So really what I'm doing is I'm putting zeros along the diagonal. Do you see that? In the XY chart. That's what I'm doing. And then we just need to solve and plug in and find out what y is, and this will be our y-intercept. Find what x is, and that'll be our x-intercept. So let's do that next.